Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Timmy Treacle, also known as Horror Fan for Life, and I'm bringing you yet another movie review that is a personal favorite of mine. I believe I've talked about this movie before on Facebook. I may have done a small review of this movie, but I'm going to do this review again, and it's going to be filled with spoilers and a lot of things I want to talk about um, with this movie. And the movie I'm going to be referring to is my favorite John Hughes movie, and that is The Breakfast Club. This was released on February 15th, 1985. It is a drama comedy movie that received positive reviews with critics. It currently holds a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 94% on Google. And on a minuscule $1 million budget, it made $51.5 million at the box office. And of course, this is written and directed by John Hughes, and it features some of the Brat Pack members. This movie was selected for preservation in 2016 by the National Film Registry and by the Library of Congress as being culturally and historically significant. Um, this movie is considered to be one of the best of all time, not only of the 1980s, but on a lot of people's top 500 or top 1,000 movies of all time. Um, but the movie stars Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, Amelia Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, Ali Sheedy, Paul Gleason, and John Kapelos. And it centers around 5 students who are serving a Saturday detention at Shermer High School in Shermer, Illinois, which is a fictional school, fictional town, and it's used throughout some of his other movies as well, most notably Weird Science. Um, but this movie, hands down, is his best in my opinion. It's definitely my favorite. I love the characters. You have top-notch characters. You have the criminal, played by Judd Nelson, John Bender. You have the princess, Claire Standish, played by Molly Ringwald. You have the athlete, or the jock, played by Andrew Clark. Um, and the actor is Amelia Estevez, playing Andrew Clark. You have the brain, or the nerd, played by Anthony Michael Hall. And you have the basket case, Allison Reynolds, played by Ali Sheedy. And 2 other supporting characters. You have Paul Gleason as the assistant principal, Vernon, and you have John Kapelos as Carla Reed, the janitor. And they are stuck in school on a Saturday, just like a typical school day. And they have to sit in the library, and they're supposed to write a paper about who they think they are. But mostly it's just them hanging out, doing nothing. But the conversations and the dialogue in this movie is just fantastic. Ali Sheedy is quiet through the first act of this movie, but then she really gets to talking, and she gets all dressed up. She's really pretty in this movie. And of course, you have the redhead, one of my favorite redheads of all time, Molly Ringwald. Um, she's so sassy, um, but she's conflicted on what she wants. All 5 of these characters feel that they have to impress someone or some faction that they're in. With the nerd, or the brain's parents, he has to impress them with the grades. He's got a lot of pressure on him to get straight A's. With the basket case, she doesn't know what she wants in life. She's a known liar. She's shy. She don't really do anything. You have the criminal, played by Judd Nelson, who's abused at home and doesn't really have that love and support of a mother and father. So he acts out in school because of that. Then you have the athlete, the jock, played by Emilio Estevez, who again has to impress his father. His father is all about being an athlete, being a wrestler, and being the best. And he wants him to be number one, and he's got those pressures of continuing to live up to his dad's expectations. And along with Molly Ringwald's character, she has two parents who are always fighting, and she's more of a daddy's girl, and she's conflicted about where she would go if they got a divorce. But she's really kind of just feeling sorry for herself because she is spoiled, and she really wouldn't have to worry about anything financially. But that comes at a price too, because money's not everything, and it really shows. It really affects her, how her parents kind of try and want to tear her apart. And then you have the assistant principal, Vernon, played by Paul Gleason, who's he's a great character in this movie. He doesn't take no crap from nobody, especially kids. And the conversations or dialogue he has with Bender, played by Judd Nelson, is top notch, just classic. And then, of course, you have the janitor who, unbeknownst to the kids, he hears and sees everything. He goes through their lockers as part of his job, and you see a reaction from the criminal because he knows he's been in his locker, and then that he has drugs in his locker, which turns out to be marijuana, which in today's standards, marijuana is just not a big deal anymore. Actually, it should be legal in all 50 states. It's just ridiculous, but eventually we'll get there. But I love this movie for everything about it. You have the writing, you have the directing, you have the actors, the great characters, and you have the performances. The performances in this movie are just top notch. And a rant that Bender goes on is just phenomenal. And there's so many quotable lines in this movie. I quote them all the time. I quote a lot of movies all the time. But this movie has a lot of those quotable lines. They got a great dance sequence in this movie, which I think is funny. You have the kids running around the halls trying to get to Bender's locker and then get back without getting caught, which is great. Bender has a scene with the basketball, talk about he wants to go for a scholarship, and it's just a lot of fun. Funny dialogue between all the characters. But if I had to pick one as my favorite, I mean, a lot of people would say Judd Nelson, but I'm going to go with Vernon, the principal. He's my favorite in this movie. But like I said, I love them all. It's a great movie. And if you didn't know, at the beginning of the movie, when they're being dropped off by their parents, Anthony Michael Hall's real mom and sister are the ones that are dropping him off in the movie. A little factoid if you didn't know. There's a lot of great behind the scenes with this movie. I love watching the movie with the director's cut because they tell you a lot of things you didn't know about the movie. And it can tend to get a little annoying because, you want to watch the movie too. But if you just want to watch the movie, then watch it without the director's cut. But I love the movies with the director cut and the behind the scenes things. And like I said, you learn a lot about the movies and what it took to do them. And it just looks like a lot of fun. I really wish I could have been on the set when they were making this movie. It just looks like a blast. But The Breakfast Club will always be one of my favorite movies of all time. It's definitely my favorite John Hughes movie, and he's got a lot of great ones out there. But by far, this is his best, in my opinion. And even when I'm gone and I'm no longer around, I really want everyone to appreciate the movie for what it is. And it's got some great life lessons in it, too. One of the best scenes in the movie is in the third act when they're all sitting around and they're just discussing their lives and what they did to get into Saturday Detention, and you really feel for all these characters because they're going through. Each of them struggles with something different, and I love the fact that it brings them together. Eventually, if they were ever to do a sequel, they would have become, I would think, really good friends. But we just will never know. But the way the movie ends, the classic song "Don't You Forget About Me" and John Benner throwing his fist in the air, walking off the football field is classic. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen this movie, but I love it. And so there you have it. Those are my thoughts on The Breakfast Club. So in the comment section below, if you've seen this movie, which I hope most of you have, let me know your thoughts and opinions about it. And are there any factoids that you know about this movie? Let me know in the comment section below. Some behind the scenes things about the characters, or anything that you know that you don't think I may not know. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. And stay tuned for one more movie review that is a favorite of mine. And I thank you guys for watching as always, and check you later. Also, I will give this movie, of course, a 10 out of 10. Have a great day.